Hey YouTube. Well, I just watched a video with Paul Begley and I took his article he had as a link because it's public, and NASA is showing us how Sahara Desert is fertilizing Amazon rainforest with dust. Now, in the time of the Exodus, Sahara Desert was made due to the incoming object in the sky that we are all waiting the arrival of. Some call it Nibiru. It doesn't matter what name it has. It is coming at its appointed time. The name is irrelevant. What's relevant is what's going to happen here on planet Earth when it arrives. Well, now that Egypt and the entire North Africa got decimated, left barren, unfruitful, and still unfruitful. We're talking about the days of the Exodus. That is approximately 6,000 plus 3,000, around 3,000 years ago. Okay, that happened, and nothing in Africa, on the northern part, Sahara as we call it, is able to grow there. The same goes for large part of the Middle East and Asia, and all the way over to the Gobi Desert. And also, if you're looking at, let's scroll up, when this planet came in, it left like this because of apparently Earth rotation, or this was how it was coming in. So it destroyed all of this. It destroyed all of this and destroyed pretty much all the way up to the Gobi Desert in China. And if you could turn this globe and follow this arc, this will run into Texas and Arizona, Nevada. And what is Texas? It is flat, it is sandy, and if you take Arizona, well, that's pretty much a desert. You take Nevada, that is a desert. So there's absolutely evidence of a great destruction took place some 3,000 years ago during the Exodus, where Moses took his people out of Egypt. But now NASA is claiming that this unfruitful sand is flying all the way over to the Amazons in South America and raining down in the rainforest and fertilizing the ground. Now, listen to me. This is hogwash. The reason why the Caribbeans have these beautiful sandy beaches as they have, it's magnificent, absolutely, it's because of the wind drift over the Atlantic and deposits in the Caribbean. Sand is also arriving in South America. There's a picture down here where the sand plume is coming over. I will not play the video, but this sand is lifeless. It is sand, it is grinded, it is beaten, it is scorched by the extreme heat in an African summer. There is no life in it, but it is depositing. And one thing that is leading to the great erosion in South America during the taking down of the rainforest to create agricultural region, which only lasts for 2 seasons, and then the ground is unfruitful. That is because there is nothing in this, and it's actually diluting the solid soil that is in the rainforest. It also steals away the humidity, and that gives cause for erosion when it's raining, and is actually destroying the country or the Amazons more than it provides food for anybody. They should stop doing what they're doing because it's very unfruitful and it's destroying the Amazons. Now, NASA says that this is the case. There might be some phosphorus in this, but why don't they come up and say what's the truth? And that is, we are flying around in a debris field right now. Guess why? We have an incoming. A lot of stuff is being brought into the inner solar system. We also have here an Arab clerking who is saying that move over. Saudi cleric says Earth do not allow revolve around the sun. Well, I subscribe to that. You see, we will have to have a look at the Book of Enoch. And before we take a look at the Book of Enoch, we will have to have a little look here at the Pleiadians. I have discovered something very interesting about the Book of Enoch. In the 18th chapter, he describes a journey with the angels where they were flying in an angelic spaceship southward on the earth and coming to a place where the pillars of heavenly fire. To me, that sounds like they were flying over Africa from the Middle East and coming to the South Pole and watching the Southern Lights. Enoch describes how he's passing several mountains, which quite well fits with the mountains in the East and South Africa. He passes over where the waters collect, which obviously is the ocean that gathers South Africa, meaning the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. Then when they come to the place further south, he sees a deep rift or abyss, which could suggest that Antarctica at that time was free of ice. And we know that there were ancient maps that seem to depict Antarctica as an ice-free landmass. Now, over this abyss, where the heavenly fire goes up and down in immense pillars, there were 7 stars. This is of course not stars on Earth, but stars hovering over the South Pole horizon. Well-known formation of 7 stars is the Pleiadians. Some believe that some nice guys is coming from the Pleiadians to save you. Good luck with that, New Agers. Where the stars Enoch saw the Pleiadians, several things seem to confirm this. Firstly, the angels tells him there was a certain fallen angels that were bound to those stars because of their mingling with women on Earth. So these Pleiadians, they're good, yeah. This story is very similar to the myth in Greece, Mesopotamia. In the Greek myth, the 7 women were put in a starry heaven because of their mingling with the Titans, the fallen ones, by which they were made pregnant, Nephilim. This is also a clear parallel to Genesis 6, and in Enoch, which describes this story in detail, we read that in chapter 18 that the women who were seduced by fallen angels were to be imprisoned together with those angels among the 7 stars. These Greek women were called Pleiades, and thereby we know those 7 stars in the Enoch must be the Pleiades. You can read the rest of this article. She or he is using stellarium in order to find Pleiadians from the South Pole. It's not visible, but he see. Then I set the date to the time of Noah's flood, 2,300 years before Christ. Nothing. But at that moment I thought my idea was destroyed. Clearly I thought that one cannot see the stars in the other side of the earth. I should have understood that from the beginning. And then he remembers that Enoch actually was on earth 700 years before the flood, between 622 and 1977, 977 after the creation of Adam, which is about 3,000 years. And wraps the program finds the Pleiadians seen from the South Pole. Enough of that. Now, another thing here. The Book of Enoch. There's a lot of talk about how we are revolving in space. Some believe we are revolving around our sun. Some believe the earth is flat. Some believe that the earth is concave and we are living inside earth, and when we look out to space we are looking towards the center of our own existence. And then there's also the earth is round, or some say that the sun is moving in a heliocentric orbit around in our galaxy with all the planets spiraling around. But regarding the sun and the moon here, the book of courses of the luminaries of heaven, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me, and he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how they with regard to all the years of the world, and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished, with dureth till eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminaries, the sun, has its rising in the eastern portals in the heaven, and is setting in the western portals of the heavens. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets, and the moon rises and sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars and those who they lead, 6 in east, 6 in west, and all following each other in accuracy corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and left of these portals. And first there goes forth a great luminary named the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of heaven. He is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east. And so it is guided that he comes to the appropriate portal, shines in the face of heaven. In this way he rises in the first month of the great portal, which is the 4th, those 6 portals in the cast. And there was 4 portals from which the sun rises in the first month, and 12 windows opening, from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their seasons. Meaning, it's like the sun got some vents on it that it's opening depending on season. So they are open in the northern part of the sun, how I see it already. That is, the portals in the upper part of the sun is open when it's summertime on the northern hemisphere, and in the middle when it is summer on the middle, or meaning the equator area, and on the bottom when it is summer on the southern hemisphere. And then it becomes colder up north because those portals are closed. Well, it says accurately in the 4th portal in the west of the heaven, and during this period of day becomes daily longer and the night shorter in the 30th morning. And on that day it is longer than the night by a 9th part, and the day amongst exactly the 10th part to the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that 4th portal and sets in the 4th, and returns to the 5th portal of the east 30 morning, and rises from it and sets in the 5th portal. And the day becomes longer by 2 parts, and among to 11 parts. And the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. And it returns to the east and enters into the 6th portal, and rises and sets to the 6th portal 1:30 morning on account of its sign. On that day the day becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day becomes 12 parts. And the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts, and the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. That is our seasons. And it returns to the east and enters into the 6th portal and rises from the set 30 morning. And then 30 mornings are accomplished. The day decreases by exactly 1 part and becomes decreased by 2 parts, amounts to 10 parts at the night of the 8th part. He also in the astronomical book here mentions that the moon here, and after I saw this law, I saw a law detailing the smaller luminary, which is named the moon, and her circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and her chariot is which she rides driven by the wind, and light is given to her definite measure, and her rising and setting change every month, and her days are the days of the sun, and when her light is uniform, meaning full, it amounts to the 7th part of the light of the sun. So she is actually 7 parts less illuminated than the sun is. It also says here that he says this twice, that the moon is actually equal of size with the sun. Now that's interesting. And then Anna for his glory is talking about this one, Ezekiel 1:28. As the appearance of the bow In the cloud of the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. The rainbow signified that he would not flood the earth again. It also signifies his existence. And now we are seeing this weird bow in our sunrise, even on the opposite side of the sunrise. Maybe that is what he's talking about. God bless you.